Hi, my name's Crystal, and on this channel, it's all about leadership, self made leadership, self driven leadership. And I'm going to be sharing with you today what I call bringing out the best in them. Like, have you ever just come across somebody and you see them, they're so clumsy about the things they do? I don't really want to use the word clumsy, but the way they're doing it, there's just this, you just have this drive within you, you just have this inner thing on the inside of you that says, okay, you can do it better, you can do it best. And where this leadership desire came from, aside certifications I've done, is that back then when I was little, like let's say 6 years old or 6 to 10, my father would love watching news so much. And each time he would be watching news, I just came and sit beside him. And I love watching big personalities, if I can call it like that. Great personalities, not big, sorry. Great personalities. I love watching them. I love how they will travel from one part of the world to another to solve issues, to settle problems. And so today, me, I'm going to be talking about bringing out the best in people around you. Like, it's something you're driven by, you're passionate about. You can't really tell where that drive is coming from, and you want to help the people around you, but you don't really know how. You want to see the best in them. Like, that's what I'm talking about. You want to see the best in them without being emotional about it and doing it to see results. So I'm going to be sharing some tips with you that can help you better do so. The first one is praying for them intentionally. Yes. As Christians, as children of God, I'm a child of God. Sorry, I don't know about you, but the first and most foremost thing that you do for somebody you want to help is to pray about them. Pray about the situation you're about to venture into. And when you pray about it, you have more clarity beyond what you could possibly just observe or come to conclusion from what you think, or what you, how can I put it, what you perceive the situation to be. Because the Bible is clear, right? That's our guidance principle. It tells us that lean not on your own understanding. Meaning, most at times that you understand a thing, you think you've understood it, but until you receive clarity from the one that created a particular person, you can't really claim to have all together. You can't really claim that you master everything about that particular person, or you can't claim to have full understanding or full apprehension of what the thing is all about. So the first thing is to pray intentionally for them. And what I mean by praying intentionally is that you should pray and be open to receive what God is going to tell you about them. Don't just pray and say, I prayed and so I step forward and I start acting on my own. You have to receive what needs to be done so that you act on it. The next thing is sacrifice to learn details about them. Like, don't know the person superficially. Don't just say, I know you're good at this, so I think you could do better. Like, try to know the person deeply, know details about the person. And what I mean here by details concerning the person is because why I'm saying that is because sometimes somebody can be good at something, and things that are preventing them from really manifesting their best self or bringing out that thing to the form that is excellent and appreciable. There are things that you really need to be calm, you need to observe. That's what I started with praying for the person first as the first step to do. Now you have to analyze too on your own side, like look out the details, what the person likes, what the person doesn't like, how it affects the output and the productivity of that person as far as what you want to see that person do best is concerned. So the next step is their passions, their interests. Know it. I think it comes even with the details, the second point that I was talking about, which is sacrifice. but it's different in the sense that the second stage requires sacrifice. You see, knowing somebody's passions and knowing somebody's interest is something that usually comes. You can easily pick it because you maybe you see the person talk about it all the time, they can't retain themselves, or the person is so passionate and you can see how the person spends all their time doing it. But when it comes to like details, like what the person likes, what the person doesn't like, emotions, what turns the person off, it's something that you sacrifice to know, because you become you need to be more patient. You need to put in some work at times to really know, maybe get to talk with the person, get to know the person better, be patient so that the person will open up to you and talk to you in that sense. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is know their expectations. Like, you want to bring out the best in somebody, know their expectations, because you could think that you want to bring out the best and your best is just, how can I put it, they look at your best and what them they call best, and it doesn't match. So it's important to know what they are expecting. Like, ask them their expectations, especially if in a case where the person has given you the go ahead, or it's somebody that you're mentoring, or if somebody is a junior one that you're kind to coach and you're trying to bring out the best in them. So it's very important to know their expectations. When I talk about expectation as far as what they will need to be good at is concerned, and expectations as far as what they expectations in general, like what do they expect, what do they want to see, what do they want for their lives, so that you can see where to fit in, so that you don't come pushing yourself or putting in effort that will be disregarded at one point or another, or won't achieve the what you really want to achieve at the end of the day. So the next thing is, above all, genuinely love people. You can't bring out the best in somebody without loving them. And this is kind of linked with the third point, which was with the second point and the third point somehow, and what I've been explaining so far. Because if you love people genuinely, I'm telling you, whether they kind of the efforts, you can feel the pain. You won't be so pained if your efforts are kind of disregarded, right? Because you instead try to figure out what you did not get right. Like, okay, I have feeded in properly, if I can put it that way. You'll be thinking of better way to approach, and you understand that you can't possibly you do things at the back of the scene. You do things at the back of the scene to bring out the best in somebody, but everything is not totally dependent on you, because that person has a will at the end of the day. So you have to love people genuinely. And what I mean by love, when you genuinely love people, they can feel it. Even when you're harsh with them, even when you're trying to bring out the best in them, there is this force, like, if there are collisions, if there are conflicts at one given point in time, the love that you have for them will keep that thing growing, will keep that process growing. So, and helping people bring out the best in them is because generally people don't really love, let me not say generally as in everybody, but there are people who don't necessarily like process, or they like it but it feels just too cumbersome and it's kind of overwhelming for them. So it's important to have somebody that helps them get there faster. And usually we don't even subscribe for it, because people, or less, except the leaders, few people would want to subscribe for it because they feel like it's painful, it's this. But when you have mentor, when you have a leader, when you have somebody to help you pull something out, the time is shortened actually. time is shortened, and that's the advantage. So you have to also know as a leader that that's one of the things you're doing to help the person, and you have to be happy, you have to be joyous while doing that, because you're doing something that is honorable, you're doing something that is beautiful. Because at the end of the day, when that person gets to the other line, to the cross line where they're going to remember, and they're going to be happy, depending on how you took things step by step. Being honest and correcting the person in love is the next step, this number six step. Being honest, like be honest to that person. You see that somebody doesn't do something well, they are struggling with it, they are still trying to get things together. Be honest with them, like tell them the truth. And don't tell them the truth in such a way that when they get to the other side of the road, the only thing they remember about you is how bad you treated them, and they don't see the level of love that you put in for them to get to the other side, and all the sacrifices that you had to put in. So you have to do it with love, like I'm saying. Bring suggestions that are constructive is our next point. Number six was being honest and correcting in love. The next one was number seven, bring suggestions that are constructive. And this is where the difference is. Bringing suggestions that are constructive, because if you bring suggestions that are not constructive, it feels like you're belittling the efforts of the person. It feels like they've never done anything to contribute to whatever they are working at. It might be a drawing, they might be learning arts, they might be learning to sing, they might be learning, I don't know, whatever skill it may be. And encourage them, like step after step. Notice the steps that they put in. Notice the step. That's why it's a level. I call it a level of love, because you have to be diligent. You have to be vigilant to see every least step, every least change that the person makes, and to appreciate that. Be a person who doesn't compromise their values. Yeah, you can't be a leader that constantly compromises his or her values, and then you want to, how can I put it? You want to help somebody build something that is excellent. You want to help somebody build um something that is wow. If I can use that, if you permit me to use that word, like it will be difficult, because it's like it will be like, but you're struggling to get this together. So what are you talking about? Be a leader by example. Yeah, I'm not. I'm sure you've heard something like that before. Be a leader by example. Leadership is not about perfection, but it's important that your core values, because every day you're learning something new, right? Every day you're learning maybe a new skill, and it requires you to a certain level of vulnerability, a certain level of humility, and stuff like that. And so it's the same thing. That's how you have to approach and think when trying to bring out the best in somebody. And so I want to know which of these points like kind of really marked you. Um, Down the comment section, which of them resonated most with you, and have you ever tried to bring out the best in somebody to help somebody, and what challenges did you face? And for me, that's an aspect of leading people. That's it's a leadership quality, wanting to bring out the best in people. And so for me, I'm going to be sharing a short story before I end. That story is about me learning how to sing, and my leader, or the vocalist, and he was so harsh that there were days when I went back home, and the only thing I could recall was how harsh he was, and it made it so hard for me to appreciate the labor and the work that he was trying to bring in. Because he used to be like, there are times he would tell us things like, after all the work I do, I make sure I study as much as I can, so that I can bring to you guys, I can upgrade you people from where you are to where you're supposed to be. And me, I'll be like, yeah, I really appreciate, but most of the times when I get back home, when I'm thinking about you, I'm not relating you to helping me sing necessarily. I'm relating you to somebody that minimizes the efforts I'm doing. Like I would have loved him to appreciate the little efforts. Anyway, I'm not. It's not an attack against vocalists, but I know that that's a very intense training, and and I know of a leader that said if training doesn't make you cry, then the training isn't tough enough. Then the training isn't really training. That's how he put it. He said if it doesn't make you cry, then it's not really training. And I believe that even though it makes you cry, it should be from a point of, it should be from a place of, how can I put it, it should be from a place of, I'm struggling, this is where I'm supposed to be, I'm feeling overwhelmed, and so I know I have to get there. There should be a standard, there should be a line where a measure mark where you're supposed to operate from, a standard where you're supposed to operate from, and then you're not operating from, and then others are operating from it, and then it's challenging you to become better and better and better. But not that kind of situation where somebody is talking down on you. And I just believe that bringing out the best in people, there these points have to be taken in, some of these points have to be taken into consideration, because at the end of the day you want the person to remember you as that person that was there for me, and that person that helped me to get to the other side, not that person that challenged me and made me feel like I was never going to get there. So now finally I've gotten there, and they're going to see. Even though if you're listening to me and you're not really into any space of leadership, but you're like, okay, that's true, you suddenly recall of somebody that kind of put you inside in that space where you were like, you wanted to get to the other side just to prove to them that you finally arrived. Just know that it's a wrong motive, because you have to forgive and you have to let go, because leaders are humans and they are not always perfect. And the truth is that if you trace, if you submit under the mentorship of somebody, somehow, somewhere, it's because they have something to bring to you that you do not have. And it doesn't matter how tough or how harsh they have been. The most important thing is that you recall the one or two things and you focus more on it. The one or two things that they did that was positive and that has helped you move forward. If you see your life from that perspective, it brings you some sort of healing, and it makes you enjoy what you're doing. And so you're not like, because you shouldn't put yourself in that space where you separate from a situation long time ago, but yet you're constantly, it feels like you're constantly in a how can I put it, you're constantly in the battle to prove a point, instead of just loving and being passionate about what you do, or what you learn. So that is it. That's what I'm want to share with you today. And like I said earlier before, if one of these resonated with you in one way or another, don't forget to share. Maybe you were trying to bring out the best in somebody, or maybe somebody tried to help you and you felt frustrated in one way or another. I want you to share down the comment section and tell me how you tackled with the issue or with the situation. How did you cope? What was your coping mechanism? I really want to know, and I want to yeah, I want to share with you, and I also want you to share with me so that we all grow. So see you next time, and bye bye.